Good morning students. Today we will start a new lesson, molecular basis of inheritance. So we will see one by one the words. First we will see inheritance. So what is inheritance? We say usually we are inherited with some characters like the hair, texture. We say we got inherited from our mother. The skin color we inherited from our father. Like that we say. So usually children are inherited with some characters which they get from their parents. So what is inheritance? Is nothing but like this. It is the process of transfer of characters from parents to offsprings. Transmission or transfer. Process of transfer or transmission of characters. Characters means information from parents to offsprings. From parents to offspring. How this information is transferred? How this information is transferred? So what is that? Inheritance. We are inherited with some characters from our parents. What is inheritance? Is nothing but transfer of information, transfer of characters from parents to offsprings. How the information that is present in the parents is transferred to offsprings. Information, how it is transferred. Just before that we will study how a cell is made up of, or what a cell is made of. What a cell is made of. What are the components of a cell? For that recall few organisms. For example, a primitive organism we can say bacteria. A bacteria is an organism which is a unicellular, and which is a prokaryotic one. So this is a bacteria. Similarly, recall another organism, a protozoan, amoeba. So here we say this is a prokaryotic, whereas amoeba is unicellular, same thing, unicellular, but it is eukaryotic. Next, think of a highly evolved mammal. Highly evolved organism, mammal, for example human being. In the case of human being, it is multicellular. So how a human being is? A human being is multicellular, made up of different organ systems. We know a human being is with the digestive system, respiratory system, nervous system, and so on. So what these organ systems are made up of? Organ systems are made up of organs. So what are organ system? Assemblage of organs is organ system. Aggregation of organs is organ system. These organs in turn are made up of tissues. Aggregation of tissues make organs. These tissues in turn are made up of cells. So we started like this. So this bacteria is a cell. unicellular. Amoeba is a cell, this bacteria cell. Even the complex organism, human being, mammal, is also produced from a cell, right? So before knowing how the characters are transferred, we will see what a cell is made up of. Now in this case, single cell, unicellular. Study of organism is a little bit easy because the single cell itself is the organism, whereas in this case it is multicellular. Study of this organism is a little complex. Study of this organism is a little complex. During the process of evolution, this unicellular organism changed and produced this multicellular organism. Change over time made a unicellular organism to change into a multicellular organism. So a multicellular organism is produced from a unicellular organism. So in this case it is a single cell. In this case also it is produced from a single cell only. In the sense, cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs make organ systems, and organ system make the organism. Organ systems make the organism. Now we will see little more about the same. How these unicellular and multicellular organisms reproduce. Now we will see how these reproduce. Think of bacteria and amoeba, both are unicellular. Think of bacteria and amoeba, both are unicellular. Both reproduce by cell division. Both reproduce by cell division. Think of a bacterial cell, parent cell, divides and results in two cells. Whatever component present inside is equally distributed into the two cells. Whatever component inside is equally distributed into the two cells. Now coming to mammal. How a mammal reproduce? How a mammal reproduce? Mammals usually reproduce sexually. Mammals usually reproduce sexually with the involvement of two members. With the involvement of two members. A male member, we can represent like this, a male member and a female member. Male member and a female member. Members produce gametes. Members produce gametes. Male member produce a gamete which we call sperm. Female member produce a gamete which we call egg. So this sperm contain haploid number of chromosome. This egg also contain haploid number of chromosome, one set of chromosome. During the process of fertilization, it results in the formation of a zygote. During the formation after fertilization, the gametes fuse, result in the formation of a zygote. Results in the formation of zygote with 2n number of chromosomes. With the 2n number of chromosomes. Then this zygote undergoes division. This zygote undergoes division, undergoes differentiation, and produce a new individual. And then produce a new individual. That means even if we are multicellular, we are produced from a single cell. We are produced from a single cell. Bacteria produced from a single cell. Even multicellular organisms are also produced from single cell. This single cell continuously undergo division, differentiation, and a new individual is produced. That means what? This single cell contain information, the characters. This single cell contain information for the formation of a new individual. That means we all are born from a single cell. And that single cell is with all the information to make a completely new adult individual. So what is that? We all are produced from a single cell, and that single cell undergo division, differentiation, and a new adult organism is produced. Means the zygote which stores the information, that information when this undergoes division and differentiation, it is expressed as a new individual, complete individual or a adult individual, like that. So that information which is stored in the zygote is expressed. How it is expressed as a new individual? Expression of information results in the formation of a new individual resembling the parent. Means for this the information came from the two parents. That information is stored here, that information is then expressed as a new organism. Expression of information resulted in the formation of organism, and that organism resembles the parents. So how organism reproduce? Unicellular organism reproduce by cell division. So whatever component present in the cell, is distributed in the daughter cells there. In the case of higher organism, they reproduce sexually. They produce gametes. So the information from the parents is transferred to the gametes. So information from both the gametes transferred to the zygote. Now zygote contain information from both the parents. And that zygote is a single cell, undergoes division, differentiation to produce a adult. Now that adult is produced from the zygote, and that zygote has now received information from both the parents, and those information which the zygote received is later expressed as a new organism. So expression of information to produce a new organism, and the new organism produced resembles the parent. That is the reason we usually see dog give birth to puppy, cat give birth to kitten. Means a human being give birth to human baby, because the information stored in all body cells of an organism is same. Information stored in all body cells of an organism is same. Now, how a kitten is produced? Sexual reproduction by the fusion of gametes. Male cat, female cat produce gametes. The gametes produced by the male cat and the female cat contain information about the cat only, not about the dog. That's why cat give birth to kittens. That means information stored in all different body cells of an organism is the same. Now connect the same thing with the gametes. In the case of human beings, parents, male and female, father and mother. Male parent donates a cell. Imagine male parent donates a cell. Which cell it is? The gamete, or we can say it is the sperm. At the same time, female parent also gives a cell which is the ovum or the egg, which also contain information, which is a gamete which also contain information. So information present in the male parent is there in the gamete. Information present in the female parent is there in the female gamete, and those two gametes fuse, resulting in the formation of a zygote. Now the zygote contain information both from the male parent as well as from the female parent. Since these gametes contain information about the human being only, the zygote produced later can give rise to human baby. So young one produced is from the zygote. Young one produced is the from, and zygote is produced from the gametes, which in turn produced from parents. So what information the parents contain, same information is stored in the zygote, and that zygote give rise to a individual which resembles their parents, So usually dog give birth to puppy, cat give birth to kitten, human beings give birth to human baby. Means only those information that is stored in the body cells, later gets expressed. Information stored in all body cells of a human being are the same. So when a person donates one of his cell gamete, it contains information about himself only, and male gives sperm, female gives egg, contain information about the human beings only, which are stored in the zygote. This zygote undergoes division and differentiation, which results in the formation of a new individual which resembles their parent. Okay, that means therefore we say organism belong to a particular species, produce offsprings. Organisms belong to a particular species, produce offspring which resembles their parents, The information stored in the zygote is from the parents. Information stored in the zygote is from the gametes which are produced by the parents. That's why a puppy resembles a dog, kittens resemble cat, human baby resembles human beings. Therefore organism belong to a particular species, produce offsprings which resembles their parents, There we concluded somewhat what is inheritance. Inheritance is a transfer of information from the parents to offspring. How informations are transferred? Informations are stored within the body cells. In highly evolved organisms, especially in mammals, they reproduce sexually, they produce gametes. Two partners are involved in this. The two partners produce gametes. Gametes contain information about them. Those gametes fuse results in the formation of zygote. So information from both the parents are now stored in the zygote. That zygote undergoes division, differentiation and produce a new individual. That means whatever information stored in the zygote is expressed as a new individual, and that new individual exactly resembles the parent. So information stored is expressed as a new adult individual. So expression of information in the form of a new individual which exactly resembles the parent, is inheritance. like this. Next we see the next word, molecular. Molecular levels to, molecular refers to nothing but the chemistry level, taking life, biology into the chemistry level or into the basic level or into the root level of explanation, we can say. So molecular refers to biology into the chemistry level or biology into the most basic level or biology into the root explanation level. Now any living cell is with all these components. Living cells are with all these components. So we can say the chemical composition of a cell or cell is with, a living cell is with all this. We studied this in biomolecules. So we can say for this as biomolecules also. A cell is with all these biomolecules. It is with water, it is with the minerals. It is with water and it is with minerals. Along with that, it is with the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. A living cell is with almost the contents like this: water 70 to 90%, protein 15 to 18%, nucleic acids 5 to 7%, carbohydrate 3 to 5%, lipid 2% and minerals 1%. Mineral 1%. Scientists wanted to know among these, so this much are present inside the cell. Scientists wanted to know among these which component is responsible for the transfer of information, that is for the inheritance. So these are the components of the cell. Scientists wanted to know among these components which component is responsible for transfer of information from generation to generation or from parents to their offsprings. Which one? So among these which one? Among these which component is responsible for transfer of information? Before that, scientists or we also know, scientists also found out like this: water and minerals are present both in living as well as non-living. So these are present both in living as well as in non-living. So there is no inheritance in non-living. That's why we can exclude these two. These two can be excluded, right? So water and minerals are present both in living as well as non-living. Then scientists took only these. Proteins, carbohydrates, lipids and nucleic acids. So concentrate on 4 biomolecules. Those are proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates and lipids. So scientists wanted to know among them which one stores information, or which one is responsible for the transfer of information, or which one is responsible for inheritance. They also wanted to know how, which one is not known now, they also wanted to know how that biomolecule stores information. How that biomolecule copies information, how that biomolecule transfers information, how that biomolecule expresses the information, how the expressed information is regulated, like this. So among the 4 biomolecules, scientists wanted to know which molecule is responsible for transfer of information, which molecule is responsible for the transfer of information from the parents to offspring, that is which molecule is responsible for inheritance. Scientists also wanted to know which molecule stores information. Stores refers to stores in the form of genetic information, stores the genetic information. Which molecule stores the genetic information? How that information is copied. Copied means, I told, the different cells in the body of an organism contain same information. So a human being contains some information. The same information should be copied to a gamete. How the information is copied to a gamete? How the information is copied to a gamete? How that information is transferred from the parent to the offspring. From the parent to the offspring. So what is that? Which one is the molecule which is responsible for transfer of information? Transfer of information. Which one is the molecule which is responsible for inheritance? And how that molecule stores information? Stores refers to, think of any digital instrument like phone. It stores information. The same way here some biomolecules should is storing the information. How it can store the information? How the stored information is copied into the gamete? How the stored information is copied into the gamete? How the transfer of information occurs from the parents into the offsprings? Then already I told, information later gets expressed. Information later gets expressed. Whenever it is required, it should be expressed. That is, zygote undergoes division, differentiation, and expressed as a new adult individual, which is expressed as a new adult individual. Yes, the stored information should have the capacity to get expressed. Should have the capacity to get expressed. I will explain in other words like this. Human beings have the capacity to smile, to cry. That means that information is there from in our parents also. So the information to cry, smile, which is there in our parent, is transferred to us, and whenever it is required, it can be expressed. It can be expressed. Whereas the same information is not there in animal. In an animal, an animal cannot cry like a human being. Why? That information is not there in that animal. It cannot cry like a human being. So express. Whatever information is there should be expressed when required. Should be expressed when required. We can smile. That is one of the information which is expressed in the form of a smile, laugh, like that. The expression should be regulated. Expression should be regulated. They should be controlled. We can cry, but we cannot cry throughout in the life. Whenever it is required, at that time only we can cry. Means the cry, this laugh, everything should be regulated. Everything should be regulated. That is regulated. So which one is the genetic material? How that genetic material stores information, copies, transfers, expresses, and how the expression is regulated, everything you are going to study in this chapter. So what is molecular? Molecular means at the basic level. At the basic level, what is that? The information carrying material we are studying at the basic level, at the chemistry level, at the root level. So a living cell is with water, minerals, protein, carbohydrate, lipids, and nucleic acids. So water and mineral are present both in living as well as non-living organism. Excluding those two remaining four, scientists wanted to know among these four which material is responsible for the transfer of information, which material is responsible for inheritance. How that material stores information, how the information is stored, in what form. In what form the information stored, how the information is copied from the individual into the gamete, how the information is transferred from the gamete from the parent into the offspring, how it is expressed, how it is regulated, all these we are going to study in the chapter. So the heading is molecular basis of inheritance. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is the transfer of character, information from the parents to its offsprings. we human beings are produced as a result of sexual reproduction. So gametes are produced by two partners. The gamete fuse results in the form of zygote. Zygote is a single cell which contains information received from the two parents. So even if we are multicellular, we are produced from a single cell. That single cell contains information. That information later gets expressed, resulting in the formation of a new organism. Therefore, organisms belonging to a species produce offsprings which resemble their parents. That is inheritance. Then we studied molecular. Then now scientists are interested to find out which molecule is responsible for inheritance. Which molecule forms the basis of inheritance? Which molecule forms the basis of inheritance? So that is the title. So what is inheritance? What is molecular? Now scientists wanted to know which molecule, protein, carbohydrate, lipid or nucleic acid, which molecule forms the basis for the inheritance. Which molecule forms the basis for the inheritance? Actually the chapter starts from here. This much is the introduction for that, just a small introduction. What is inheritance, what is molecular, small introduction. Chapter starts from here. Now the search began for the genetic material. Which material is responsible for inheritance? Search began for the genetic material. Worked on this. Several scientists started to search the genetic material. Which one is the genetic material? The first scientist who worked on this is in 1928, Frederick Griffith. It's called Griffith's experiment or Griffith's transforming principle. His experiment is called Griffith's transforming principle. So his work was on an experimental animal. His experimental animal is mouse. His experimental animal is mice and a bacteria. His work was on mouse and a bacteria. Bacteria named Streptococcus pneumoniae. Streptococcus pneumoniae, pneumonia causing bacteria. Streptococcus pneumoniae. He cultured these bacteria. He grew these bacteria in his culture plates. He took culture plates and he started to grow these bacteria. And he found they occur in two physical forms. One is S strain, other one is named R strain. He found two strains of bacteria. He found two physical forms of bacteria. First one, imagine this is the cell wall of bacteria, bacterial cell wall, and this bacteria, one category of bacteria had a coat. So imagine this is the cell wall, this is the cell wall, and this cell wall, and outer to cell wall this bacteria had a coat. Outer to cell wall this bacteria had a coat, you can write even as a sheath, a coat made up of polysaccharides. Polysaccharide coat. which is with a polysaccharide coat, which is mucus, made up of mucus, smooth mucus coat, which is polysaccharide. So since because of this polysaccharide coat, mucus coat, these colonies were smooth in texture. These colonies were smooth in texture, so he called them as S strain. S for smooth. So he cultured Streptococcus pneumoniae. He found two strains. One is S strain. What is the speciality of S strain? Outer to cell wall, he found a mucus coat, smooth coat, polysaccharide coat, which is a sheath outer to them. This coat is mucus, smooth, so he called those strains as smooth strain or S strain, called as S strain, S for smooth. Another strain was like this. Another strain was outermost cell wall only, no coat, and these were rough. The colonies were rough because these colonies are without mucus coat. These colonies are without mucus coat, and these colonies appeared as rough in culture plates. So these colonies appeared as rough in culture plates. So these colonies appeared as smooth texture. They appear as smooth texture. So he called as S strain, S for smooth. Other one is without mucus coat, so rough textured, so he called as R strain. Search for the genetic material. First scientist Frederick Griffith, his work was on mouse as well as on a bacteria named Streptococcus pneumoniae, pneumonia causing bacteria. When he grew these bacteria in culture plates, he saw two different strains of bacteria. One is S strain, another one is R strain. So that is, he grew these in culture plates. In few culture plates, he saw bacteria which are producing smooth colonies. In another, he saw bacteria which are producing rough colonies. How the difference? Those which are smooth colonies had a coat, mucus polysaccharide coat outer to the cell wall. Those without coat are rough because they were not without that coat. Continuation. Now he injected this S strain into the mouse. When this S strain was injected into the mice, imagine S strain injected into the mice. The immune system of mice failed to destroy the mucus coat. The immune system of mice failed to destroy the coat, mucus coat, the polysaccharide coat. So S strain become pathogenic to mice. The immune system of the mice failed to destroy the mucus coat. As a result, the S strain became pathogenic to the mice. The pathogenic form is called virulent. Virulent have the capacity to cause a disease, virulent. So S strains were considered as virulent. Whereas when R strain is injected into the mice, R strain is without mucus coat, so which can be easily destroyed by the immune system of the mice. So R strain were non-pathogenic. These were pathogenic, these were non-pathogenic. Non-pathogenic are called by the name avirulent. The bacteria occurs in two strains, S strain and R strain. What is S strain? Produce smooth colonies. What is R strain? Produce rough colonies. What is S strain? With a mucus coat. Whereas here there is no mucus coat. And what are S strain? S strain are pathogenic. X strain are pathogenic, whereas R strain are non-pathogenic. Now another word for the same is S strain are virulent and R strain are non-virulent. So experimental animal is mice and the bacteria Streptococcus pneumonia causing bacteria. He cultured them and he found in the culture plate two physical forms, S strain, R strain. What is S? Outer to cell wall with a mucus polysaccharide coat. What is R? R is without a mucus coat. When he injected S strain into the mice, the immune system of the mice failed to destroy the coat, mucus coat, so it showed pneumonia, later died like that. So the immune system of mice failed to destroy the coat, that's why S strain become pathogenic to the mice, virulent become the mice, whereas R strain without coat, which was easily destroyed by the immune system of the mice, so R strain was not found pathogenic, R strain is a virulent. Next continuation, steps in his experiment, we will start in the next class. Thank you.